Hi. Ew, what was that ASMR?
Oh my God, this would make such good ASMR quality though.
God, no. Please, no. Oh my God. We need to do one episode where it's just all, you know,
Us trying
ASMR.
to do it, we would literally crack up and like burst eardrums, but okay.
That that's fine. It's fun. It's an experience for the viewers.
Mhm.
Anyways,
Hey everyone, welcome back to Breakthrough, a podcast where we, as two average teenagers, share our experiences on various different topics. Today's episode is called Are We Toxic? And in this episode, we are going to talk about how our relationships are and whether our relationship is toxic or not.
yeah, so let's just dive right into it. Oh my God, I hate that just said that. Let me
Dive right into it.
just pretend like I never said that. Okay. Let's start out with just discussing our relationships with our friends. How would you say your relationships are with your friends?
Oh, it depends on which friends. I feel like, you know, like we didn't talk on that, like we have a group chat, right? And we didn't talk on that group chat for like 2 or 3 months, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Or yeah, and then like I think because we recently started talking on it, literally because our friend got hacked.
Yeah, like isn't that kind of sad? Like isn't that just a broken relationship when you need to have an excuse to talk to someone, I think, and when the excuse is so pitiful as, you know, someone getting hacked?
Yeah, and like the relationship, not the relationship, the conversation literally lasted like 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's kind of sad. Anyways,
Yeah.
okay.
One of the other friends, like you know who I'm talking about, like you know who I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that girl. I feel like she's like at least like, somewhat close with us because like I feel like I don't talk to her as much, but like when I do meet up with her, we still have a lot to talk about. Like I'm not sure if you know what I'm talking about, but like I have some friends who are like I grew up with and like I don't talk to them like at all. Like I text them once every like 2 or 3 months, but whenever like we meet up in person, like we just don't stop talking.
That's the complete opposite for me, I think. I think I'm more like secure online, but my other friends are not. Like they're not really like as active online as I am because I'm one of those friends where like I don't know if you've seen those but it's like that one friend who's always online and then like they text them and before like they even finish texting like they're always like okay, yeah, let's go meet up here or whatever. Like that's me.
Yeah,
I'm that
yeah,
friend.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm so active all the time, but none of my friends are active either, so it's just kind of like a strain. But then when I go in person, I'm not really like a smooth talker, which makes no sense because why the fuck am I doing this podcast? But I'm not really like a smooth conversationalist, if that even is a word.
Yeah,
Um
that's a word.
that's a word, nice. Okay. So I prefer to be online, but my like relationship with my friends in person is kind of fucked up. Like our former friend group were like the only like close IRLs that I had, but now I don't even talk to them anymore. So I can consider them friends for sure, but we're not as close as we used to be. We're not like a proper friend group, you know?
Yeah, I feel like we're just like acquaintances. Like when we go to school, we're friends, but like outside of school, we don't really um talk. And like I don't think any of those people are toxic, right? Like
hmm I think just the way that we interact with each other is just a little bit toxic, but
less of like it being toxic, just like we lack interaction.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
bottom line, we don't talk.
yeah. I mostly have like online friends, and those friends are like the best friends that I could ever ask for. And um, I think I very much prefer online friends because when you're online, you can show like the best sides of yourself, you know, in a sense. And while that could be a little bit toxic, I do have some negative traits that like only appear when I'm in person. So when I'm online, I can just kind of show the best version of myself. Whereas like when I'm in person, my relationship with my friends is kind of strained, you know?
Yeah, like I like for me, I feel like online friends are really different because I've had a couple of online friends, but I feel like I just can't keep a conversation for really long. Like, because I don't
Mm-hmm.
really know them. I'm not in their life really much. And like I don't know enough about them to keep a conversation going. Like sometimes we'll have the same interests and we'll talk about that for like 2 or 3 days. But I guess and we just drift out. We don't talk again. Like I've never actually had like an online friend. I've had like online conversations, but like it doesn't progress to like a friend sort of level.
Yeah, no, for me, like I like the longest
Yeah, you
online
have
friendship.
like quite a few online friends, right? Like we've met
Yeah. You've met some of my online friends. So you like I think that's a big difference between you and I. I think I kind of like figure out ways to keep up the conversations like on text where you kind of figure out ways to like keep the conversation going like in person. Like it's easier for you, you know?
yeah, like I feel like for me, like online, it's just like not the same.
Yeah, those I don't have many friends, so I can't really speak on my relationships with them, but yeah.
Yeah, like I like aside from the our shared friend group, I have like another friend group and like
Oh yeah, you have a lot of friends.
not like friends, I guess, but like friend groups. Like, cause like
Hmm.
I don't know how to explain it. Like a lot, I have like childhood friends that like we don't talk, but as soon as we do get together, there's always it's not awkward. Like like when we don't talk for like 3 months, but like when we come to the same room and like we sit and we just like chill on our phones or doing homework, like the silence isn't awkward. It's sort of just like we're sitting there and we're chilling.
Yeah, that's
Um,
another thing. You said that silence is never awkward for you. Silence is always awkward for me because the shared friend group that we're both in is my childhood friends actually. Well, actually no, that's a lie because my like they're like my friends from like grade 5 and onward because when grade 5 and before I actually didn't have that many friends. I had two friends but they were really toxic and
mm.
I kind of missed them, but it's okay. So I never really had like proper childhood friends, from like kindergarten and growing up. But from grade 5 and onwards, that's our friend group that we're in. And even still, like whenever it's silent, I feel so awkward. But you're fine with silence, which I found really surprising.
Like for me, silence is sort of just like, like a comfortable sort of way to just relax. Like with some before when pre-COVID, when I went to like friends' houses, sometimes we would just lay on our bed and just scroll through our phones. Like we don't talk to each other or anything. We just scroll through shit. And like when we see something funny, we send it to each other. We kind of like laugh it off and like it's just like relaxing together.
I never had that with my friends, which I think was a big red flag, but that's
I
okay.
mean, we can try that. Maybe after COVID, you come over and I can show you how to meditate.
Actually do meditate. I meditate with this app. I can't say the name because, podcasting rules, but I meditate. I recently started to pick up meditating, but I just like, I can't sit in silence with other people. I can only sit in silence with myself?
I think our meditation is a little bit different.
Oh, okay.
Like how I meditate is I turn off all the lights. It's gotta be nighttime, and I just like lay on my floor.
Oh, that's not how I meditate by like I sit in a chair, I keep my feet like to the ground, and then I have like not this podcast, what the heck? I have this app and it like tells me a bunch of stuff. Like I meditate before I go to bed and then like I have to meditate at least once a day. Like for example, the ones where I meditate before I go to bed. There's this app that just like tell that like forces me to lie down and then it kind of describes me walking through a forest kind of, and it's weird but it works and it's a form of meditation. I it's on the tip of my tongue. I don't remember what it's called, like visualization I think, and it just helps you like remove all like the weird thoughts and just be I don't know where I'm going with this. It's very calm in your mind. It tries to make all the bad thoughts disappear.
I think
That
our
was
purposes of meditation is different too.
Yeah, I think it is too. What's your purpose?
My purpose is like I do like religious meditation. So
Oh yeah, we're completely different then.
yeah, I like just lay on the floor. I normally like I pull up my Bible, I like read a verse or something. Whatever pops out to me, I kind of just like lay on the floor and I just like wait.
Oh yeah, no, I do it for my mental health.
And I think like my religious meditation is also good for mental health as well because like you're
Hmm.
relaxing in your thought, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's for sure. That's cool. Moving on. Okay. So I think we've discussed our relationships with our friends for the most part. Now let's talk about relationships with family, if you're comfortable.
I mean, I think I'm pretty like close with my whole family. Like we do have like arguments or like disagreements and stuff, but like most of the time, like it's not very often we do that. Like, and even if we do have a disagreement or like an argument, we kind of like to keep it um calm. Like we'll have a argument. I guess my dad will like yell. Like I don't think my dad's yelled at me in like 2 years or something.
Whoa.
Or like my mom yells at me, but it's sort of like funny to me now. Like I don't know why. When she yells at me, it's like for the stupidest reasons. And I'm like, And I sort of
Mm-hmm.
just at this point amuse her. Like she's
You
like
what?
amuse her.
Oh.
Like she's like, Amy, like, why are you always like that? Go do the freaking dishes or like wash your own dishes or whatever. And I just don't answer her. I kind of just like roll my eyes and go downstairs and do it.
Nice. Nice.
And like sometimes like she'll like say something to me and she'll like tell me to do something and it's like to the point where it's like really stupid. Like sometimes she'll tell me something and it's just so fake. I kind of just like laugh. And she's like, "What? Like why are you laughing at me?" I'm like, "Listen to yourself. Listen to what you're saying." Like that
Oh
makes
my
absolute.
God.
And she was just like, "Why are you always like disrespecting me and stuff?" I'm like, "I'm sorry, but like listen to yourself. You were
Yeah,
laughing."
no, that's the thing. Like, parents are always just like, "Oh, why are you disrespecting me?" I'm just like, you sound completely stupid right now. That you
Yeah.
deserve no respect in that moment." Like, I'm sorry, but
And like when they say like, "Oh, like don't do this," and then you turn around and on them be like, "You do it too." They're like, "Don't turn this on me. Like we're talking about you."
exactly. Like, who do you think I learned it from?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, my mom's always like, "You have such a bad temper." I'm like, "Mom, I think out of our whole family, you have the worst temper."
Honestly, oh my God. Like, I think that's like those kind of build up so much. And also, just because like my relationship with my family, we think so differently. And when I try to like get through to them, they're like a brick wall. Like, they will not even like listen to what I have to say, you know? Like,
Literally, yeah.
I it's just so much like on the topic of like my older brother, he has a girlfriend, right? And so on the topic of that, they're always just like, oh, he shouldn't be dating right now. He has to focus on his schoolwork. He needs to get a self established career and whatever. And then they always say that, and I'm just like, let the dude do what he wants to do. And then also they're always like, oh yeah, his girlfriend always needs to talk to us because like every single day he needs to phone us. I'm just like, what is wrong? She's dating him, not dating you. Like, they have like the weirdest thoughts, and it's so, and they also think that like um he needs to get married by the age of like 20 or 25 or something. He's like 23 at the time right now. They're like setting up all these, like they're literally just creating his own life for him, you know? Like, they're planning it out for him. They're not even like letting him have a say. And that's like the thing. He doesn't just do that with my older brother. They do that with me, my younger brother, and everyone. I just it's so toxic where they're creating our own life for us that I don't I like let me just do what I want to do, you know? But we just have a I just have a toxic relationship with most of my family.
I'm close with my brother because both of us are like, we have to take the same crap. I'm like, we get it.
Exactly. Yeah,
And
that's
like
the
I'm
sibling bond.
like that's how you bond because you both have the same take the same crap. And
Hmm.
like I think I'm closer to my dad because I feel like I respect my dad more than my mother because he
Same.
my father like is it's like I don't know, it's just stuff he says. Like it makes logical sense. Like it's like common sense to be like, like when sometimes we just were discussing like coronavirus and my mom's like, yeah, like what if like it's like spread like okay, there's this one time like we came home from grocery shopping and I like walked like 2 steps onto like my hardwood with my shoes on. Like don't yell at me, I walk with my shoes on, but like 2 steps to put my phone on the table. So I put
Hmm.
my phone on the table, I walk back and like I wash my hands and like took off my shoes and crap. And she goes, Amy, wipe the floor with like freaking like antiseptics or something. I'm like, and she's like, you stepped on the floor with your shoes, which was at the store. And I'm like, what are we gonna do? Start like breathing in the floor? Like, and I'm like, that's not how virus works. Like, I'm not gonna start licking the floor or something.
Oh my God.
She like insists on like cleaning our like first floors like hardwood like every like month or so with like some like bleach or something. So the first time she tried bleach and I couldn't handle it. Like I when I smell bleach like a lot, I feel like I want to throw up. So I'm
Well,
like, do
that,
not.
yeah, it's bleached. Like, that's the point. Like,
I know.
you shouldn't be
Like I
breathing in
feel
bleach.
and I Googled it. Apparently, you can get some like serious like breathing issues. I don't know. And I was
Oh
like,
my
Mom, can you
God.
not use bleach? Like, I'm literally dying here. She's like, fine, I'll use detergent, laundry detergent. I'm like, Mom, laundry detergent isn't like like an antibacterial sort of killing. agent. It's to clean your clothes.
My God.
You're not cleaning the floor. You're not killing germs. You're just washing it. My dad told her that. He's like, there's literally no like sort of germ killing thing in detergent. And she's like, no, 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 no. There's like usage. And I'm like, okay.
My God.
It can be tough, but like I don't know, man. Like don't get me wrong. Like I'm really grateful for having like the family I do, and like
Mm-hmm.
I really love them and stuff. So don't
Mm-hmm.
who are listening just to make sure like they don't think I want to like I don't know jail my parents or something. Like
Yeah, no, that's understandable. I have nothing to speak on with the relationship with my family because there is none, you know? So, yeah. Anyways, let's talk about whether or not our relationship is toxic.
yeah,
So,
so like I did some research. This isn't like scientific research or anything. This is just like literally like reading up like BuzzFeed websites.
yes, so our beloved Amy, she did research because she writes our scripts.
Yes. So there's like 10 big sort of red flags when a relationship is toxic. So the first one is like lack of support. It's basically when the person you're in a relationship with stops being positive or supportive about your goals. And like you just don't feel like they have your back.
Yeah. I don't think I actually see that a lot in my relationships. Do you?
Mm, yeah, actually, I don't think there's a lack of support in my relationships. Like if I'm talking about my family, they're mostly positive about like my goals or like I tell them like, hey, I want to do this in the future. And they're like, okay, yeah, you can go do it. And like something happens to me, I can always like depend on them to like be there for me. Um,
Oh, yeah. No, for me, it's not because of that I don't have lack of support. I think it's because I'm not open about my goals in general with my family. So I don't see that support and I don't get that support because there's nothing to support in their eyes, you know?
mm,
But with my friends, like if I say something, they'll be like, "Oh my God, you got this. Good job. Let's go." Like they're really supportive. So I think it kind of balances it out where because I think in normal not normal people but like people who have good relationships with their family and friends they get like 50% of their support from their family and then 50% of their support from their friends or like there's like 100% kind of thing like between the two of them like whether it be like 60% and then 40%, but for me it's just 100% my friends, so I don't feel that lack of support.
like yeah, like I think it's actually the opposite for me. I think I get like 90% of my support from my family and like 10% from my friends. Cause like I think with okay, like I'm talking specifically about our friend group because
Yeah,
yeah,
let the truth be or let the statement be shown. What is it? Is
I
that
don't
what it's
know.
called? Let the
I don't
statement
know.
let the record show. There we go.
Oh my God. I'm like, what are you trying to say?
Let the record show that when we're talking about these, we're talking about the friend group that we're both in. Okay.
Yeah. Like I think you and are both the only friends I ever share anything with. Like ever. Like
Really?
I like do see something funny. You two are mostly the only ones who I send it to. Or like when, I have a thought, like even if it is I'm gonna share it with someone, it's very rare I ever share it. Like when I'm having a bad day, I don't think I've ever texted anybody, been like, I'm having a bad day. But like I feel like whenever I'm like, hey, I did this or I got this, like you guys are really supportive. You guys are like, oh my gosh, like that's a win or like whatever. And like or
Hmm.
like oh I think I with her especially like like when you post something and your like IRLs like they don't even have to be friends, they hype you up, right? You can
Hmm.
tell which ones are actually sincere and which ones are just for show, you know.
Hmm.
Like it's sort of like, oh, if I comment on your picture, I know I'm gonna get a comment back sort of thing versus
Yeah.
oh my God, like I'm here, I'm hyping you up, I'm here for this, I'm living for this, you know?
Hmm. Yeah. I think like for me, my like the support I guess that I get is like through my goals. Like if I've done something like good or whatever, there and I tell my friends because I think you when you said that you only tell me and I think I tell I don't know. I don't think I actually tell anyone in general. I think I just post it on like my spam and I like text a couple of people if I'm like really, really happy about it, and then like they'll be really, really supportive because that's just kind of like the dynamic that we have. But then when it comes to like posting and shit like that, I get a lot of support, but but I don't think I've ever gotten like comments from people who don't that only do it just for show. Like I think all the comments that I get are people who are genuinely supporting me, you know?
Yeah, like I'm not saying like people who comment on our posts are like not genuine or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm just saying
yeah,
there's a few I can be like, you're here just for me to comment on your post, right?
yeah, yeah, exactly. I thankfully I've cut those types of people out of my life, so I don't get that, but I can see how like toxic that can be.
Yeah, and like I feel like we're not open enough about like our own goals or like our dreams and like or whatever. 'Cause like I feel like it's because that's like an untouched area. Like we haven't gone there before, so like we're kind of afraid of like, what kind of response we're gonna get.
Mhm.
Like we haven't ever like I don't think we've ever shared like, oh, like this was my day. Something sucky happened. Like I don't think we've ever gone there before. So it's sort of like it makes me hesitant to sort of like try it.
I think I think I've never done that. I actually no, I think I've done that one on one. I'm not sure if I've done that with you, but like when I have like a sucky day or something weird happens or something like that, I rant on it on like my private account, and then like whoever actually cares will reply. Like that's like whoever actually like wants to listen in or whatever will reply, you know? So I think that's like where I get my support, and like when I need to talk about my sucky days, people will like support me and be like, "Oh, it's okay." Because I don't have like a specific person that I go to, I don't think. But actually no,
Hmm.
I do. I have some specific people, but those specific people are on my account. Does that make sense?
Right. But yeah, like now that I think about it, you do post a lot of like work stories or like story times on like
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like that's how I get like the insight sort of like see the how like your life is really like
Mm-hmm.
um
Because I think I'm a pretty open person. Like, like I when I talk about like my life or stuff, I usually go to like my online friends or whatever. Um, I they know who they are, but like on top of that, I also go onto like my Instagram story, and then like you usually respond to like majority. You're like one of the only people that actually responds to like majority of the things. So now I also talk to you about my day and things like that.
yeah, and I think like I don't think we need to like talk to each other like every single day, but like
Mm-hmm.
it's good to just like be like, like hey, look at this or like hey, what's up? Or like,
Mm-hmm.
where like what you doing right now? And
Exactly.
like I think it's just because when I used to do that with like my friends or whatever, like I didn't get a response. Like sometimes I'll send them
Oh,
something and I'll be like, "Oh, how are you doing?" They're like, "Good." That's
oh,
it. So I'm like, "Okay, not asking you again."
oh God. Well, as a segue, then moving on to those conversations, let's talk about that kind of toxic communication. Then.
So like a toxic communication when I found online was like it's when a conversation is not kind or when it's like filled with sarcasm, like not constructive criticism, just criticism, any hostility, or like generally we avoid talking to each other. So I don't think that applies to our conversations like at all.
Mm-hmm. But
I
like the
think our
ones that you
conversation
were. Oh, sorry. You go.
no, yeah, like I was just gonna say like our conversations are generally like really lighthearted, they're really supportive and like which we're just there to have a good time.
Yeah, and the conversations that you were talking about, like from before, when you used to talk to your friends every single day, when they were just like good, but they didn't even ask you how you were doing. I think that's also like a type of toxic communication, and that like they avoided talking to you, kind of, you know. So that kind
It's sort
of,
of I have to answer you because I already opened the message sort of thing.
yeah, exactly. And I think that's pretty toxic because you should, when you want to talk to someone, I think you should like actually want to talk to them and not like talk to them just because their message is there, you know?
God, you know what I hate? I hate being left on red. Like I absolutely hate it. I'm like, you could literally just tell me, hey, I'm not down to talk right now. Or, hey, I'm busy. You don't have to just like leave me on red. What does that mean?
I haven't been, this is just actually showing me how not toxic my friend groups are, or like not my friend groups, but like my friends are, because I can't remember the last time that I was left on red. Like I think the last time that I was left on red was accidentally because they opened up the message, but like they didn't see that they opened up the message, you know?
And like I get like if you like okay, I sometimes do this too. Like I'll open a message and like I answer in my head. and then like I get
Yeah.
and then I forget to like actually send the message. But like there's also the fact that like, you know, you can see some people are active and you like send them a message, but like they don't answer you. And I feel like, oh, okay.
I think for me though, like I've gotten like some people saying like, "Oh my god, you're active right now. Why are you responding?" But I wasn't active at the time. Like on like the like for example, they were like texting me on Instagram. They're just like, "Oh, you were active, answer." And I was like, "I literally was not on Instagram. I was watching Netflix." And somehow like Instagram's telling me that I'm active even though I'm not, which I think that can also be kind of like toxic in a way where they're just like, oh, you're like criticizing me for not being on Instagram kind of thing, you know?
Instagram, do better. What the heck? Like,
Exactly.
bro, I don't. What if that happens to me? What if like it says I'm active and I'm not, and people are like, "Bitch, like,
That's happened to
excuse
me
me."
before. But it wasn't, it was like lighthearted. Like they weren't actually mad. I could tell, but still.
Yeah, yeah, but like, I'm just saying, like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't know that. I didn't know like it just randomly says you're active when you're not.
Yeah, like it happened to me before. I don't know if it's like, I don't know if it was a glitch or whatever, but like in order to avoid that when they're like calling me out or whatever, we use tone indicators, my beloved tone indicators. Oh my God. And it just kind of avoids like that toxic communication because like you can tell when they're being sarcastic or when they're not being sarcastic, when they're being like rude or when it's lighthearted, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel
So
like I think people should adapt tone indicators.
yeah, for those of you who don't know what tone indicators are, it's just like when you type something and then there's like you want to have like a certain connotation with it, so you put down like there's like a list. I guess I'll like link it in the description or whatever. But slash LH means like lighthearted. Slash S means like sarcastic. So you can tell what kind of connotation they're trying to give with that message. And I think that really helps avoid toxic communication, you know?
Yeah, like I remember you like taught those to me. People use that with me. I would like so many like misunderstandings could be avoided if
Resolved, yeah.
yeah, it just used tone indicators because sometimes like sometimes you send me a message, I'm like, did she really mean that or is she like playing right now? So
Mm-hmm.
like I'm like,
Yeah. Like I'm pretty sure at first they were meant for neurodivergent people, but now like they use it and also people who just like just in regular text conversations when you don't really know what someone's saying, they can also be useful. So I think
mhm.
tone indicators are like something that a lot of people should adapt just for like all the benefits, you know?
Yeah, like I feel like it definitely will help me and stuff. And there's like times like where like we use like we call each other things that society labels as bad, like whore or like hoe and stuff, but like we don't mean it and like just if you have any like thinking that I mean like it's bad, but like no, I use it as in like
It's
like
like saying
hey.
dude. It's like saying
Yeah,
dude, whoa, yo, you know? Like I do that all the time. I think I've adapted it so much that I start calling people at work whores by accident too. It's so like oh my god, story time. This is just completely separate from the toxic thing because this is not toxic at all. But like whenever I talk to my friends, specifically Amy, I always call her like whore, ho, bitch. Where are you? What the fuck? You know? I do that so much with my friends that like when I go to work or like a professional environment where society is just like that is wrong and that is rude. Like there was this one time there I was working with this coworker and he was being like kind of weird. So I was just like, whore, pick up the phone. And I said that underneath my breath. And I think he heard it. And I think he thinks that I called him a whore. And to like, I know, like, for them, it might seem toxic. But for me, it's just like, yo, dude, pick up the phone, you know?
yeah, yeah. Like sometimes when you're excited to tell me you go, whore, can we do this?
Yes,
It's not like
exactly.
saying like it's like saying, bitch, what's up? You
Yeah,
know? Like
exactly. I'm not calling
I'm
you a
not
female dog.
yeah, no, it's just saying like, yo, what's up? Or like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, or something like that. And then like I feel like people like just get it wrong. Like they're like, did you just call her a bitch? I'm like, yeah, and
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, that just kind of communication is just kind of rocky. But I don't think like all in all, we don't have toxic communication because I think we're pretty like we're not when we are sarcastic, it's like for funny jokes, you know? It's not for like, oh, really, you wore that. It's just like it's not like that kind of sarcasm. It's just like, wow, like I don't know. What's an example of sarcasm that we use? Like healthy sarcasm.
we go like when you send me something and it's like really stupid, I'm like, oh, we love that, you know?
Yeah,
Like sort of like
exactly.
that.
That kind of sarcasm I think is healthy.
Yeah, it's like lighthearted, like you get it. You get they're not like trying to like hurt you or like put you down anyway. So they're just like
Mm-hmm.
I think it like varies person to person. Like you can't be like how you are sarcastic with one person with like another person.
Exactly. Yeah. I like talk differently with each friend because everyone like takes things differently, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Like my talking patterns are so weird with like different people. Like with you, I like swear a lot more.
Yeah, I
But like
know. I
other
know. I
people,
saw that.
with other people, I'm like extremely like a clean mouth.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Like with some people can't really take like the like keyboard smashes or like the sarcastic or ironic emoji use like easily or whatever, or like they can't take it well. So I talk to them really formally and things like that. You know, it's
Yeah.
like just to make sure that there's no like toxicity or just like no weird vibes being thrown across.
Like I think for me, if you can tell if we're close because I swear. If I
Yeah.
swear in the conversation, that means I'm comfortable with you. Like I'm okay with like, showing you what I'm really like versus like with like let's just say at DECA. Like at DECA, I was feeling myself. I love that environment. All the girls there were just like so like fun.
Pretty. Oh, that too.
I mean that too. Like
Sorry. Wrong. Wrong vibe. Okay, wait, pause.
I
Yes, they were
that
fun.
too. That too. But like we were just chilling, we were vibing, like we were just going crazy. Like remember when we took pictures by like
Hmm.
that like glass window and people were looking at us like we were idiots, but we were just
Yeah.
like
For
having
those who don't know what DECA is, by the way, before we continue on to this, it's a business competition that our high school did with other high schools around us, and you have to be really formal. Like you can't swear. You have to be like
yeah.
really formal. You like it was like dress code was like super serious things like that, but we were still breaking the rules.
And literally nobody cared at that point. They were like, these girls crazy, leave them alone. And
Exactly.
I think all of us were there not because we cared about the business competition. We were there just because like we wanted to have fun. We didn't want to go to school. Um,
Exactly.
Another sign of toxicity within a relationship is jealousy. Okay, I get like when you see that someone is like doing well, you might get like jealous, but it's not like a sort of, oh, like I hate how you're so much like better than me. I feel bad now. It's sort of like, wow, I'm so like jealous. You're so great. Like I will hype you up. I'm here for it. Sort of like jealous, you know?
Yeah, I
Like
think jealousy is also like kind of a good thing too, because when you're jealous of friends, it's not like, oh, I want to take that away from you. It's like, oh, I want to be like you in that sense. And then you learn
yeah,
from them and you grow from them. And I think jealousy is a good thing because of that.
yeah, it's like I feel like people think there's a bad sort of jealousy. There's a jealousy where obviously it's like, ooh, like I'm jealous of you. I'm like your arch nemesis now. Like I freaking hate you. Like I want to like shut you down and like make your I hope like your life goes to like shit or whatever. And like
Mm-hmm.
type of jealousy, I was like, oh my gosh, like I love that. I'm so jealous of you. I'm gonna work to be like that. Like that's like a new goal I have. I want to be like that too.
Mm-hmm. I think that type of jealousy is the ones that you should focus more on. Does that make sense?
Mhm. And like especially like like when it's a bad jealousy when you tell them about your success and they can't be positive about it.
Oh, yeah. That's for sure.
Like when you're like, "Oh my gosh, like I finally bought this thing I really wanted for a long time." And they're like, "Oh, like how much money was it? Was it a waste of money? Like, ew, it looks stupid or like it looks ugly." Like that's like
That's
you
toxic.
can tell they're jealous. They're
Mm-hmm.
toxic jealous.
Mm-hmm. But like I think that's like for me when I get jealous, I try not to be toxic. I mean, I don't know if I cuz I'm hoping I'm not toxic like in this sense, but like with jealousy when I see like other people like looking like they have their life together or like looking so pretty or like, being like talented or whatever, I'm just like, "Wow, you're so cool." And then I just like I wish I could be like that. And then instead of like channeling that wish into like hating on the other person, I try to be like that. Like I work to improve myself so that I don't look exactly like them or I don't act exactly like them, but like I take them as inspiration, and then I like channel my jealousy into working on myself.
And like I feel like that sort of jealousy is good, but like I feel like there's a lot of times where like people I don't think this applies to us, but like there will be times when people are like they look at them and they sort of get jealous and they put themselves down because they're like, oh, I'm not like that. Why are they like so much better than me? I'm so jealous of them, but like my life sucks compared to theirs. Like they compare them and then they get upset or like sad that, like their life isn't like that person's.
Exactly. I don't think I have like jealousy in any of my friendships though. I hope not anyway. Well, like the bad jealousy. I definitely have good jealousy.
Yeah, like
Like
I don't think I don't think I have any bad jealousy. It's not like I don't look at you and be like, oh, like Vikasni like does this, ugh, like that fucking bitch, or like whatever. I
yeah.
don't think I have any of those.
Same. It's just like the I want to improve my I want to improve on myself because they're super cool. That kind of
And like
thing.
most of the time when I see someone with like something I like want or like, most of the time I don't even feel jealous. Most of the time I'm like, damn, like wow, they really got their life together. Like, damn.
Exactly. I don't, but when I see other people have their life together, I'm just like, yeah, I need to be like that.
I need to do that. Like, I'm I? So
Exactly.
I mean, I think it's just different for everybody. Everybody handles stuff differently. So
Exactly.
yeah. So I guess we can check that off. We're not toxic in that way.
hmm
All right, let's see what else there is. Oh, controlling behavior. So I don't think we have this at all. We don't control each other's lives.
I don't. Okay, so controlling behaviors, like when you research, you put down like questioning where you are all the time or getting upset when you don't text back immediately. I don't
Mhm.
think we have that, but I'm gonna be completely honest. I think I have that kind of behavior with my other friends, but it's not like freakishly controlling. It's more like, oh, why aren't you, doing that with me instead? Because like a couple of months ago, my dad saw two of my friends hanging out together, and I was literally texting those friends like an hour before they started hanging out together, and when my dad went up to them, just like, oh, hi, how are you, or whatever. Have you talked to Vikasni recently? Because he brought that up somehow, and they were just like, oh, no, we haven't, and then they just walked away. Like, that's not really. I feel like that's toxic, but it wasn't toxic on their part. It was toxic on my part because I know friends should be able to hang out like individually on their own, but it just kind of like bugged me the fact that they like lied about not talking to me or whatever, and then they were just like, they didn't even like ask about me or anything. Like I felt kind of controlling when I was like that because I know I shouldn't be, but I was like, oh, why aren't they hanging out with me too? What the heck? Like they literally saw my dad. They were in front of my house and they didn't really say anything. Like that's kind of weird. And then I felt really controlling in that sense. So I think that's a toxic trait on my part that I need to fix. But yeah.
Like I don't think that's actually a controlling behavior. Like I think it's actually like a natural response to have when, someone you're close with, doesn't, call or text when they're near you. Like I think it's natural to feel a little bit upset. Like, oh, like you sort of like feel a little bit sad that they didn't feel like calling you or whatever. But like what you explained to me doesn't feel like a controlling behavior. Like you're not texting them and be like, I saw you outside together. Why didn't you take me? Take me next time, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I feel like it's just sort of like, like a natural feeling to have. Like I don't think you necessarily acted on it and was like, these freaking people, like, I hate them. Why didn't they like do this? Or
Yeah,
like there
I
wasn't
wasn't just like, fuck you guys,
sort of
I'm leaving. Fuck you. Everyone get
I
out, you
hate you. Don't
bitches.
talk to me
I
again.
hate you. You should go die. Like that. No, that was not me. That was so overdramatic. I'm so sorry.
But
Oh
yeah, like
my
I
god.
think it's like with me too. Like when I see people hanging out, I feel a little bit like sad, but I know like, each person needs quality time alone too. I also like before like I see somebody together before I like make any judgments, I'm sort of like I don't know the situation. Like I don't know what's going on. Like they could just be hanging out or like, it could be something else. And like
Yeah.
I think that's something I really don't like in relationships is when people jump to conclusions.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't think like, oh, this could have happened, something could have happened, like something unimaginable could have gone down that you're not aware of. Like not everything is as it seems or what you think it is. So
Mm-hmm. But I think we both understand that, so that's why we don't have this like toxic um thing. We don't have like toxic behaviors in the sense of controllingness.
yeah,
Ew.
like sometimes like when I like text you, like I like when you don't text back, I'm not like you like ho, text me back right now. Or like
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Like if you don't text back, I'm like, whatever, she's probably busy. That's like my first thought is she's probably busy. Or
Mm-hmm.
like she's doing something right now. And or like when you're like, you know, active. I don't like text you and be like, bitch, talk to me right now. I can see you're active. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like,
Exactly.
yeah, I don't think we have any sort of controlling behavior. Like, if anything, we're like really not controlling. Like, we're the opposite
Yeah.
of controlling. Sort of like, what's up? What are you doing? Oh, cool.
Yeah, we're pretty chill that way. I was gonna say something about this, but I completely forgot. Fuck. Ugh. Whatever. Okay.
But like sometimes like when, you know, like especially like turning each other down, like when we're like, hey, do you want to like do this? Like you're like, oh, I'm at work right now. Like I can't right now. It's not I'm not like you hoe. Like
Yeah.
spend every minute of your like life with me or whatever. I'm like, oh, she's at work. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I wish like a lot of people realized that though, but they oh, I remember what I was gonna say. A lot
Uh-huh.
of people like I'm so thankful that you're like that where you're just like, oh, she's at work. Okay, I'll leave her alone kind of thing. Because there are some people who just think that they're like the main character all the
Oh my
time.
God.
They're like, why aren't you spending your life with me? Why aren't you doing stuff for me? Why are you doing your own shit? Like you are not the main character that you think you are. Shut up. Like
Yeah.
it's just really annoying.
Yeah, like I don't think I've necessarily met any of those people before, but I would imagine I would get extremely annoyed.
I met
Like,
one of those people in elementary school, and they were a terrible human being. I hope they changed because they were horrible. They were also racist, but still,
oh, okay.
yeah, you know, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like those might go hand in hand. But anyway,
Fair enough. All right. The next toxic trait is resentment. So holding on to grudges or things that they've done in the past. We can check this off a billion times.
no, 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 no.
No,
I have
okay.
something to say.
No. Okay. So if you are listening to this podcast, you know that the reason why we're doing this podcast and like our main kind of base for this podcast is the fact that we went from enemies to besties. So
I don't think we were enemies. Okay, I never saw you as an enemy or any sort of threat. Okay, I was just antisocial.
you never saw me as a threat? Excuse me.
Oh my God. I never saw you as someone I need to take down.
Okay.
Okay? That's what I mean by enemy. Like, okay, Vikasni thinks I freaking hated her in grade 9 for
Okay,
some
give the
reason.
okay, let me give the backstory to these listeners. Okay. So I met, okay, we're gonna time travel back to grade 9, okay? So Amy and I were in the same music class, but at the same time, we had already known each other because now we're moving back to grade 8. Grade 8 year, one of our mutual friends, um, actually, can you explain this? I feel like you can explain this better than I can.
Okay. Yeah, so basically what happened was in grade 8, one of our mutual friends was at my house and she was on our Snap and I saw basically Vikashni's contact. I didn't know Vikashni at this time. So I thought it'd be funny to text Vikashni and
Be
we
a
basically
bitch.
we, okay. It was for fun, okay?
You were being a bitch for fun.
And so basically we just started having a swearing war. And then I did after that I completely don't know what happened. I didn't have any update. It was just like for fun that time. Um yeah, grade 8 E was pretty toxic now that I think about it. Anyways, that's the past now. So we did that. And then later in like start of grade 9,
No,
our
no, 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 no.
mutual
You know, you're forgetting something.
oh
After
my
she did that swearing war, she told me to add her on Snapchat. So I did. And then we
God,
had each other on Snapchat and we also had each other on Instagram because of that.
I don't
Because
remember
you
that,
were
but
in your
okay.
because you were still doing Wattpad shit. So I was reading your stories back then. I
In
remember.
grade 8?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, my timeline is getting muddled. One sec.
Okay. Like summer of grade 8 or something like that. Because I remember I was reading your Wattpad shit at that time.
Ew, Wattpad. Anyway,
Yes.
I don't remember the Snapchat adding, but anyways, it was like,
We
and then we
did.
got, okay, I'll take your word for it, but like, I don't remember any of that. And then our mutual friend, like, we both had like the same, like, we both like were into K-pop at that time, and the mutual friend was like, hey, like, I'll add you into this like K-pop group chat, and I was like, okay, cool, that sounds great. So she puts me in, we talk a little bit, and then like, so we found out that Vikash and I are attending the same high school. Um, so yeah, and then we were both apparently in the same vocals class, which I think I knew, but I didn't know who Vikashni was. So like
How?
what do you mean? I didn't know what your face looked like.
We had each other on Snapchat.
So I didn't know what your face looked like.
Wow, she says this, but I know it's not true. Anyway, continue.
No, no. I legit like I don't even know if you like even if you sent me snaps or whatever. I just remember at the time I don't know who Vikasni is. Like I don't know her face. Like I cannot identify her in my vocals class.
Okay, okay, carry on.
So then like later like on the group chat we were like like oh my god like I don't know how this came up but we started talking about like being in the same vocal class or something and then
Mm-hmm.
we were like told each other like we were gonna meet up with each other at like entrance or whatever and like we saw each other. It was the most awkward interaction ever.
Oh
Like
my god.
it's painful to think back to. I was like oh my god I was so awkward.
Mm-hmm.
And
Same.
then yeah and then for some reason Makashni thinks I hated her
No,
and
because okay, she knew that I was in her class, right? But she would never talk to me in vocals class. And she would
because
just
I
leave
don't know
me.
like
No,
I
she
didn't know what to say.
well, you could have been friends with me. She ditched me for this other person that she met on the first day of school. She didn't even talk to me. And then, like, for the entire first half of that semester, I was just left alone in the lurch. Because my perspective was that, oh, we were going to be like partners in music class. You know, we were going to be friends or whatever. So on the first day, I was like, okay, finally, I have a friend in one of these classes. That's great. And so I made friends in like my other three classes. But this class, I didn't make friends because I assumed that Amy and I were going to be friends. And so I didn't want to leave her in the lurch. But she left me in the lurch. And then for the entire first half of the semester, I had no friends in that class.
Okay. Okay, number one, this might just be me because I don't know why I don't have any memory of what happened before grade 10. Because
That's
I think I was just in like a phase of just like I was basically a ghost drifting through days. Like I can't remember shit that happened. But maybe I ignored the cautionary or whatever. I have no memory of that. But I think like one of the reasons why I might have done that is because I didn't feel like I could vibe with Vakashi. I don't know why. Like
what?
I just couldn't feel like I didn't know what to say to you. I didn't know how to talk to people because like the reason why I talked to that other girl was because like basically
Mm-hmm.
like because that girl was friends with that other girl that I was talking to. So it was sort of like a mutual like sort of connection like because that my friend knew that girl, I was a little bit closer to that girl. But like with you
But
like
your friend that introduced us also knew me. So you
yeah,
had
but
that
she
same
wasn't in
connection.
class. Like she wasn't there to sort of like pull the relationship together, you know? Like because I did English as first period with both of them in our vocals class. Our mutual friend wasn't there to sort of like pull it together. And I
Oh,
was like, I'm
okay.
an awkward person in grade 9. Like I did not talk to people for shit.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair.
Like
But still.
like you're
Anyways, you
never
still
gonna
hated me.
go.
I'm never gonna let this go. But let me get this straight. I'm not holding a grudge like negatively. It's not because I want Amy to be like, oh, apologize, bow down to me, whore. It's not like that. It's more like a lighthearted joke. Like, oh, she
It's
hated me in
more
grade
because
nine.
trying to annoy me.
Yeah, but anyways, I just thought we were enemies for like the entire first semester. But then second semester we had a different class together, and that friend that she made in vocals class wasn't in that class. So then she moved and she became friends with me. Yeah. But anyways, this resentment thing we can check off, but like I'm not like it might be toxic, but it's not as toxic as like actively hitting on someone and being like, you're a whore, you're a bitch, like go fuck yourself, that kind of thing.
Yeah, like it's not as in like, you did something to me, I'm gonna hold you accountable for the rest of your life. Like
Mm-hmm.
even if you apologize or whatever, if like say like you did something, you made a mistake or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm not like every conversation, like you remember when you did this? Like, yeah, like it's not like
Yeah.
that.
No, like our enemies to best friends thing starts off with like Amy calling me a bitch out of nowhere on Snapchat to being kind of bitchy to me in vocals. That's like the enemies thing. But I
Okay,
don't resent her
I'll
for
say
that
two
because I don't no, no, no. I don't resent her for that because it brought us to where we are today. There you go.
okay, so bitchiness is a must for
Bitchiness
people
is
to
a
come together.
must. Yes, it's a must. In
All
our
right.
in our friendship it's a must. Cuz it's not resentment, it's just holding a grudge.
Isn't that worse or something?
No, no, it's not. It's fine. We're fine. It's fine. It's fine. Anyways, next.
Okay. All right. Next trait of toxicity is dishonesty. So finding yourself constantly making up lies to not hang out with the other person or just being dishonest in general. Okay, I think there's I don't think we do that with each other necessarily,
No, I'm
but
flat out honest with you. Like I'm an open book, but I think with other friends, like when we need to like get out of hanging out or something, I sometimes like depending on the person, I can't just be like, "Oh, I don't feel like hanging out today." I'll just make up a lie, you know?
yeah, like I feel like with us, I'm like I don't know about you, but I'm comfortable if like we make a hangout and like that day I'm not feeling great. I would be fine with texting you, hey, like can we change the day? I'm not feeling great today. But like
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I can do that with our friend group. If we make a hangout, I will most of the time I'll force myself to go because I'm the
It's
type of
falling apart.
yeah, it's falling apart. I'm the type of person who thinks it you know like it can't be that bad. Let me go and see how it is, and then I force myself into a situation I hate and
Same.
yeah. But like I don't know, I don't like making up excuses. Like to me it feels like I'm doing something bad and like someone will find out and like call me out for it. So like I'm scared to do that, but like
Yeah, I only do that like when I genuinely can't be open or honest to the people because I feel guilty, you know? But
yeah,
for the
like
most
okay.
part, we don't do that. If we like scheduled like a FaceTime or something, um, and I was like, I wanted to focus more on like watch, or I wanted to focus more on watching like a TV show, I would watch the TV show and I would tell you I'm watching the TV show rather than FaceTiming you. But
And like that's okay with me. I'm not gonna be like you bitch. Why would you choose a TV show over me? Like
yeah,
like I get like, you know, people we need time to like wind down too. So like I'm
yeah,
not gonna get angry at you for that.
but for the most part, like I think when we FaceTime, it's hard for us to like get our schedules to match and like to actually FaceTime and shit like that. So most of the time I
Mm-hmm.
will drop the TV show to talk to you. But in the off chance where I'm like so invested in the TV show, I'm gonna tell you that I'm invested into the TV show.
You're like, something's about to go down.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care what it is you're doing. Like you could literally be choosing to like eat over me. Like I don't care what it is. If you're honest with me and tell me like that time I was like, yo, like should we like do something today or whatever? You were like, oh, like my we already like scheduled something with my other friend. I was like, okay, cool. Like have fun or whatever. I wasn't like you ho. Like I
Yeah.
appreciated that you told me, you know, you were going to watch a movie with your friend you've already scheduled. And like
Yeah.
I like appreciate that more than being like, oh sorry, like I'm I don't know, like what's an excuse people make up? I don't know. But like making excuse for it, like
Yeah, because honestly, if it was someone else, I would have definitely told them like otherwise. But I had friends with an or I had plans with another friend at the time, so I was like, you know what? It's Amy. I know she won't be mad, and I think that's a sign of it not being toxic. The fact that I know that you won't be mad or like lash out at me.
yes, I think definitely if like because I think people make excuses because they sort of like know that like can kind of predict the friend group or whatever the friend will be angry with them or feel upset or like they're just like they know there won't be a positive response to it. So that's why they feel like they can lie. So I feel like it goes both ways for dishonesty. It's like just being dishonest is toxic, but it's also because the friend might have a toxic response to it,
Mm-hmm.
which sort of makes people want to be dishonest.
But we don't have that, so it's fine.
No, we don't have that, I think.
Okay. So the next one. Patterns of disrespect is also a sign in toxic relationships. So when you're like chronically being quote unquote late or like just forgetting about really important events or just like other signs of just being disrespectful to the other individual. And the question here is it genuine forgetfulness or is it an excuse?
I mean, I can really pull up some stuff from before, but I think it's just genuine you're
No,
late.
do it.
Okay, we've had some like hangouts where like you're late. And like
Yeah.
like there was like times where like we scheduled to go to the mall at like 4 o'clock. We came at like 4:30. Like I think that's genuine, like because you're like your dad was not being punctual or like your freaking bike broke down, which was like not great.
Yeah, like for me, it's not disrespect. I don't think that's like me being disrespectful because I don't care about you. I think I'm just not punctual. Like it's usually like my parents who give me a ride or something like that. But also, I can't plan out my day properly because the times that we hang out, I'm always late. I know that I'm always the late one. That's not even like with you. It's with other people as well. Like we were supposed to start recording this podcast at like 3:30 or something, but we ended up doing it at like 4 because I'm not punctual.
I think sometimes it's just you're unlucky. Like that time your bike broke down, like that's just like
Yeah,
no one you didn't know, oh my bike's gonna break down.
yeah,
Like
exactly. it like it broke down and like the air went out of the tire, so it was like harder for me to bike with, you know?
Hmm.
So I had to just like bring it back home, and then that caused me to be like 20 minutes late. Or like my dad just being annoying and not knowing what times are. That kind of thing.
Yeah, and like I'm sort of like because I know with you, if you like tell me like you're late or something, or if like you're like you want to cancel a plan or whatever, like because like I know with you, you're being honest with me. Like we have a history of like not lying to each other or whatever. So I like trust that you're telling me the truth. So I won't get angry or whatever. Like because I do
Mm-hmm.
enjoy when people cancel, but it depends on who it is. Like if you cancel, I'm like, oh, she obviously has something going on, like whatever. But like if
Mm-hmm.
somebody else has a history of being like not honest with me and they cancel and they're like, oh, it has something to do, I'm like, do you really though?
Yeah, exactly. Like I hate that too because the like I will be late, but I will never like I think once or twice I might have forgotten that like we were supposed to FaceTime or whatever, but that was from like I remember this one time I forgot that I was supposed to FaceTime you, but that was because like right after I had a test and I did not do well in that test, so I was like freaking the fuck out. And so I just needed like a calm day where like I just walk outside and that kind of stuff. I've forgotten about like our hangout once that time, but like I've been late, but it's just because I'm not punctual. But like I never am like I hate canceling last minute. Like I hate doing that because I know how annoying that is to like have gotten ready and everything like that, and then the person just
Mhm.
texts you saying, "Oh, sorry, I can't make it today." Like that's so fucking annoying. So I always promise myself to never to always find anything that I can do before I can actually before like my last option is to cancel last minute, you
Mhm.
know?
And like something like I know it like it's canceling's annoying to me and I don't like it or like being late like is annoying to me and stuff, but it just depends on who it is because I know you don't mean to be disrespectful to me in a way. Like I
Mhm.
know you're late not because like you want to like waste my time or just annoy me or something. Like I know you're late because something happened.
Mhm.
And
Exactly.
like it's different because other people I know who like, you know, are late and stuff. Like for me, I get the feeling of you don't care or like you didn't want to
Exactly.
come. And like that doesn't like sit well with me and stuff.
Exactly. Like
And like sometimes when you forget about FaceTimes or whatever, like whatever, I don't really care. Like it's a FaceTime. It's not like it's not a big deal. But when other people forget about like FaceTimes and they don't give me an explanation later, like they just completely like act like it never was planned, that's when I'm like, bitch.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I think we do have these patterns, but I don't think that they're patterns because of disrespect.
Yeah, like we're not meaning to be like disrespectful. We're not like, oh, I want to disrespect you, so I'm gonna be late. Like
Hmm.
it's not.
It's only an issue when the other person takes it to be really disrespectful and they feel hurt by it. But I think when that happens, you need to be honest about it like hurting you, you know?
Yeah, like I like even if like I feel like even if this person didn't mean to be disrespectful, if that person felt like they were disrespected, I think that's when things need to be like talked about. But like for us, I don't feel disrespected.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I
Exactly.
think something I have is I constantly like to make up excuses for people. Like in my head, I'm like, oh, that's just how she is. Oh, she didn't mean it like that. Like I don't know if it's that's a healthy pattern to have because like
I
no
don't think it
matter
is.
no matter what people do to me, I always try and make an excuse for them.
Yeah, same. I think that's
Like
toxic.
I don't even know if that's toxic. I just think that's like I don't know, man. Like
Because I think also, I'm just gonna jump the gun here. Um, Making up excuses is also kind of just like ignoring your needs, you know? Because like you're making up excuses for like other people for things that you need, like that you wait, what the fuck am I saying? You're making up excuses for other people, but you're ignoring your needs in the process. Like it's okay to be a little bit selfish sometimes. That's all.
I know, but like for me, it's sort of like for me, it's almost like it's okay if you ignore my need. Like I'm okay with you like, you know, like not being super attentive to like what I need because like I can like I'm okay with it. Like
Yeah, but I still think that's kind of toxic because even if you are okay with it, I don't think that's right for the other person to just assume, you know?
like I guess it's not right for the other person to do that to me, I guess, but like I'm not gonna incite anything over it. Like I won't fight her over. I probably won't talk to her about it because like it just comes down to who the person is. And I know if I talk to this person about it, they might become really sarcastic about it, and
Yeah.
it just won't really progress our relationship anywhere. So
But
like I
that's
might as well
toxic.
just ignore it. Like I know that's toxic, but like it doesn't hurt that much. Like it hurts, but like to the point where like
That's
I can take it.
that's not good because that's still ignoring your needs. You shouldn't need to actually have to take it.
I know, but like not I like understand not every relationship will be perfect, right?
Yeah, that's
So
fair.
like just because this part isn't perfect, I'm like whatever. I'm not gonna like try and like
But is it just this part? Because you said that they would be like sarcastic about it, and that also goes hand in hand with toxic communication. And then like they're
I mean,
also being
I think
dishonest about what they have to
I think
do.
I like it's to the point where like I don't think this is good, but it's to the point where like I'm okay with toxicity. Like
We need to work on that.
I like yeah, maybe that's something I need to work back on, but like it's like to the point of like I don't think like it's worth fighting over. Like this person I grew up with and like I really love her. Like I just like I don't even care if people return my feelings. Like if I want to like be supportive of you and you're not supportive of me, I'm like that's okay with me. Cause like if I can
That's
support you in any way,
it
like I,
hurts me to think that, or to it hurts me to realize that you think that, because that's not.
like okay, I'm gonna put it like this. Like I'm okay if people use me.
I'm not. There
There
we
we go.
go. That's it. That's a difference.
But again, I'll try and make more excuses.
That's so toxic.
Oh man, like, ugh, why do I think like this?
Yeah, I think, well, that's what this podcast is about, to realize that some of our relationships are in fact toxic.
Like, I don't even know why I do that.
I think it's because you want to save all of your relationships. You want to save your friendships. You don't want to lose any. So you start making excuses for other people so that you can like tell yourself, oh, it's not toxic. It's fine. But
Because,
it's
like,
not.
yeah, I think, because I've never had to leave a friend. It was always that friend left me in a way. So, like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how to, like, leave somebody because I'll always, like, end up going back to it until they decide to be like, hey, it's not working anymore. Like, if it's not working for them, like, okay, bye. It's fine.
I
But, like,
does that have to do with, oh my God, these are such nice segues that I'm doing. But does that have to do with like the constant stress of like one day, oh, what if our friendship falls to pieces kind of thing? Is that like stressing you, and is, or like inherently stressing you, but you don't see it? And is that why like you make these excuses for people?
I don't think it stresses me to lose a friend. It's just I don't want to be the reason like of potentially hurting somebody when they needed me. Like I don't want to end a relationship because I because like okay, I don't know if this is probably not a healthy way of thinking, but like I don't want to end a relationship because like I feel like if I end a relationship, that's like potentially hurting somebody. And I think feel like if I end it, I'm being selfish, like for selfish reasons. Like, oh, this person wasn't doing what I wanted. Okay, bye. Like I feel like that isn't fair in a way.
Yeah. I mean like I guess, but still, like that's not right, you know? Like you like I understand like not wanting to potentially hurt someone, but also you can't just ignore yourself in the process.
Like I think it's because I've ignored myself for too long. It's sort of just used to it. Like because I think what it's like for me is like I want to accept this person for who they are. Like no matter what comes with it, I want like I want to accept this person no matter what they're like.
Yeah, that's good. But you shouldn't accept them if they're being toxic and that's in turn hurting you. Cuz then that's when you need to step back and look and be like, "Yo, this is hurting me too. I know you need a friend, but I just don't think that it's me because what you're doing is affecting me too." I'm
I
a
think that's
firm believer in selfishness.
I mean I think that's good for protecting yourself and your mentality. And like I'd
Mhm.
like to have that, but like on the outside I would say I could do it. But when it comes down to it, I don't think I could.
I think that's just something that we have to work on then, identifying these toxic relationships and not even just leaving that toxic person out in the dust, but just working on that toxic relationship to avoid the toxicity. I think that's the first step. And then if that person still can't do it, that's when you say goodbye.
I think I'm assertive when it comes to other people, but when it comes to me, like I'm not as assertive as I should be, I think.
Yeah, I think I was like that too, but because of COVID, I've just learned to be selfish. And like that's not even like people are always like, "Oh, being selfish is such a bad thing." No, it's not. Not when it's done in the healthy right way. Like
Like
has
being selfish is, I think it's good. I think being selfish can sometimes protect you from hurt that can be avoided.
yeah, but at the same I'm not saying be selfish and just completely forget about everyone else. I'm not saying that. I'm saying be selfish when you know that your needs are in danger and not your wants.
And like just like care for yourself, you
Yeah,
know?
care for yourself. You need self-care. It's a thing. But when you
Mhm.
have, oh my God, another segue. When you have a lack of self-care, you like that's another sign of toxic relationships, you know?
Yeah, like when like you find that you're caring less and less for yourself around that person, it's like sign of
Yeah.
toxicity. And like,
Yeah. Like when you have to drop everything for that person and you end up like forgetting about all these like previous hobbies or like interests that you would have when you were little or whatever. Doesn't that show toxicity because you're just giving up everything for that person?
I mean, okay, I feel like being able to drop anything for somebody when they are in need, I think that's a sign
Oh,
that you're very
no.
about that person, right?
I don't mean like when they're in need. Oh, absolutely. But I was thinking like long term. You know, like when not when they're need when they're in need, but when they're just like you're not spending enough time with me. Why aren't you FaceTiming me all the time? You know, we haven't talked in so long. What's wrong with you? Why are you only focusing on your hobbies? Why don't you focus on me too? Or not even me too, but why don't you only focus on me? That's when I think it's super toxic. But when you need to stop like watching a show or stop knitting or something because your friend's having I don't know, when your friend's having a mental breakdown, that's fine. That's when you need to push your selfishness self can I fucking speak? That's when you need to push your selfishness to the side. But
Hmm.
when it's long term and when they're like, "Oh, I don't like you knitting. You're ugly and you suck at knitting. Stop doing that." That's
What is
fucking
knitting?
toxic.
Do you
I
knit?
don't know. Knitting. That's whenever people say hobbies, I always just associate it with like knitting, you know.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, I don't think that we actually check off any of these when it comes to like lack of support. We both support each other very well. Toxic
Hmm.
communication. We're pretty open with toxic communication. Or we're pretty open with communication. We're so toxically communicating. No. Jealousy. We have that, but it's jealousy in that we want to work better on ourselves. So it's not toxic.
Hmm.
Controlling behaviors. No. Resentment for jokes. Dishonesty? What? Dishonesty? No, because we're pretty open and honest people. Constant stress. I don't think we feel stressful about our relationship at all.
No, I don't feel any sort of stress. It's so like lax.
Yeah. Ignoring your needs. Girl, I will put over you. But
Thank you. Thank you.
oh my God. But no, like when you need me, I'll be there. You know that. Um
Hmm.
so I'll ignore my needs when you're like super like in need, but when you're just like bored or whatever, or not even when you're bored, but when you're constantly asking me, that's when I know it's toxic. But you don't constantly ask me to drop my needs. And then a lack of self-care again, like I can set aside time for myself because I know I need it, but also I can
Hmm.
set aside time for our friendship because I know we need it.
Yeah, I think our friendship is pretty healthy, as in we balance things really well.
Mhm. Exactly.
So,
Like you have
yay,
your time, I have mine. We're good.
we're not toxic.
Yay! That's what this entire podcast episode has been about. We're not toxic. A bunch of our friends are, but it's okay. We will work on that. That's so. This is like a diagnosing toxic relationships episode. This is nice.
Yeah, it was fun. Like, I didn't know things were toxic until we talk about it. So,
Yes, exactly.
I don't know
It's
what
a
I'm gonna do anymore, but
neither do I. I don't even. I'm pretty sure I won't. What am I saying? The
walk
fuck?
away and do something about it.
Yeah. Pretty sure I won't do that, but it's okay.
It's okay. At least we know now, sort of self-aware.
Yes, exactly.
We had a lot of fun today talking about our relationships and finding out we are not toxic, which is awesome.
Yay.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at BT Podcasts with an S on the end, and follow us on Spotify. And Spotify has a really cool feature that we turned on where if you click the link in our description, it's description, right?
Yeah, in our description.
There's a link in our description where you can click on it and you can send us a voice message, which is pretty damn cool. So if you want to do that, please send us a message because we're lonely.
Exactly. And it should be in all of the other streaming platforms that you use as well. It should be in the description for those too. So, yes.
Yeah. Well, I guess we will see you next week.
Yes. See you then.
Bye.
Bye, bestie.